Okay, so recording started and we'll kick things off. So, yeah, thanks everyone for being here and welcome to our WordPress online workshop about learning management systems. And the reason why I chose to select this topic was because out of the hundreds of online workshops there's been, this topic hadn't been covered. So thought it was a great opportunity to dive into this topic. So, before we do dive into the topic, in the chat, if you'd like to please just introduce yourself, maybe where you're from, and on a scale of 1 to 5, and 1 being brand new and 5 being an expert, how comfortable are you with WordPress? That will just help us, I think, get a good overview of who's here. And there's no right or wrong answers to that question. Anything goes. And while you're doing that, I'll just introduce myself. So my name's Shane. I'm based in Christchurch, New Zealand. I am a happiness engineer employed by Automatic, and I'm sponsored to contribute to the WordPress community at this time. And part of that is doing online workshops like this and also helping um, get community events up and running. And prior to this, I was a web developer for over 10 years, and I mainly made websites in WordPress using a lot of WooCommerce as well, and the odd website in Drupal, Magento, Shopify, etc. But yeah, mainly WordPress, I would say. And if you'd like to connect further after the workshop, if you have questions, please feel free to reach out on Slack, or you can look me up on LinkedIn as well. I have, I think, the only spelling of my name on LinkedIn, so it shouldn't be too hard to find. I'd also like to share in the chat a link to the slides if you'd like to follow along on your own computer. And I'll just read it. So Nick is from British Columbia, Canada, and is a 4 out of 10. So that's really cool. Moon is from India and a 1 out of 10. So nice and brand new. This will be perfect for you. And we've got, sorry, I'm not sure. What was your name? We've got D, starts with D, long letters, long strings of numbers and letters here from California. Some ways he's a 1, some ways he's a 4, but that's absolutely fine. And Narazaman is our co-host for today. He's from Bangladesh, and he's a very experienced web developer, also plugin developer and theme developer. And Don, thank you. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened with the username there, but Don is joining us. Scott from Idaho, 5 out of 10. Yeah, no problems, Don. It's all good. So yeah, great. We've got a good range here, and I'm hoping that this workshop will have something for everyone. So let's one more admin slide. So everyone's muted. Thank you so much. We'll have a Q&A slide at the end. So if you have questions, I'll do my best to answer them then. Otherwise, I will get back to you with an answer if I can't answer it on the spot. So this is what we're going to cover today. It looks like a lot, but we'll go pretty quickly because I want to get to the demo at the end where the fun can be had. So we're going to cover what an LMS is, why you can use or why you should use a WordPress LMS plugin, the core components of one, the key features to understand, monetization options, the front end and the back end, common integrations, free versus pro, which I think is quite important to look at. We're going to look at choosing an LMS plugin and a theme. What things do we need to consider? And we're going to look at popular LMS plugins, and then we're going to finish up with a demo. So let's kick things off. What is an LMS? So you probably already know an LMS is a learning management system, and it's software for creating, delivering, and managing educational content. And a WordPress LMS plugin is a plugin that adds functionality to your site, much like WooCommerce or an e-commerce plugin sort of bolts this ready to go, ready-made functionality to your existing website. And it's an alternative to a sort of self-hosted platform such as Teachable, Thinkific, and Kajabi. And we'll go over why that is important. So why would we use a WordPress LMS over a service that's already dedicated to providing it for us? So if we use an LMS plugin on our website, it will enable us to have ownership over it. We can control our own content and our data and our student list. We can also have cost control, so no one will be taking a cut of our fees if we want to charge for courses. We have flexibility to customize it exactly how we want. And if you don't have the skills to do that, you can hire a developer to help you with that and extend it or make it look a certain way or whatever the case may be. So we have that flexibility built in when we use a plugin. Integration options, we can integrate not only with our existing website, but if we're already selling things using WooCommerce, we can integrate our LMS with our WooCommerce platform and use the same payment gateway to take money, take payments. So it also integrates, if you're an Elementor fan, you can use the Elementor Builder to help build your courses. So it integrates with many other things, and we'll look at those later as well. And yeah, one of the most important things I think is no platform lock-in. So you can migrate your data in and out of other LMS plugins or other systems if you'd like to do so. So the core components of an LMS are the content structure, which is typically made up of courses, and inside courses you'll find lessons, and inside lessons you'll find topics, and then a module or a section might be a group of lessons. And within those content structures, we can assess, so we can have quizzes to test our students' knowledge, assign assignments for homework or a project, and issue certificates when the students have completed the assignments, work, or courses. And our students are coming to enroll in our courses. Our instructors are going to create the courses or teach them, and our admin is our site manager, just like a classic WordPress website setup. So our key features to understand is that we'll have a course builder, and that will be an interface for creating the course content. And in our demonstration later, we'll look at the one that we're going to go with has the classic editor enabled, but we can also choose to enable the Gutenberg editor if you'd like more advanced editing options. And there are also many other integrations like Elementor. If you're a fan of that or another page building plugin, there's a good chance that they'll have something for the more popular LMS plugins anyway. So progress tracking, students can see where they're at. They'll have their own dashboard and they can see the progress on the courses that they're enrolled in. And we can see it from the admin side of you as well. And drip content. So if this is how you want to structure your lessons or your courses, you could release a lesson weekly or monthly or fortnightly. If you want to do so, you can have that option. And sort of related to that is prerequisites. So we would like the students to complete course A before moving to course B. We can enable that as well. And how we handle enrollments, whether we want them to be free enrollments paid, or we can manually add students to a course as well. And having a grade book, so tracking the scores and the performance, the outcomes of these students in the courses and lessons that they take. So monetization options, we can provide free courses, or courses have like a one-time payment or a subscription, membership, and we can bundle our courses together and sell multiple courses in a bundle. Payment integrations are common ones are WooCommerce, PayPal, and Stripe. And we'll look at this in the demonstration as well. So front end versus back end. Typically, the breakdown will be something like on the front end, students and instructors will be visiting the front end, and they'll be taking courses, viewing their progress, and managing their own content. And then the back end is more for the site admin and the instructors, where they can look at settings, change them if they want, look at reports, manage users, and also create the courses. So some common integrations that you'll see are page builders, and this will depend on the LMS plugin itself and whether or not these page builders have sort of seen that it's popular enough to make this plugin to integrate with it. But there are ones for Elementor, Gutenberg, and Divi. If you like a particular page builder, I would just have a look, see if they've got a plugin that will integrate with your chosen LMS plugin. There's also other integrations like email marketing plugins or services that you can integrate with your LMS, membership options like WooCommerce memberships, paid memberships pro, and some LMSs will actually have this built in as well. Communication tools such as Zoom, BuddyPress, BBPress, some free, some paid add-ons, which we'll look at later. E-commerce, WooCommerce integrates easy digital downloads, might as well. Some LMS plugins will also have their own e-commerce engines. And customer relationship managers such as Fluent CRM and HubSpot can integrate depending on the LMS plugin. But it's just good to know that you can sort of extend the functionality beyond what's given to you out of the box. And free versus pro. So we'll look at this again in a little bit more detail coming up, but typically we'll see that LMSs provide courses and lessons to be created for free. They'll provide basic quizzes, student dashboard, and a way to track progress, and basic monetization options. And typically behind the paywall or pro add-on is the ability to issue certificates and assignments, see advanced reports, set up subscriptions, and receive priority support. So when we're choosing an LMS plugin, some things that we might want to consider would be the ease of use. How actually easy is it to use this plugin, and the design and user experience, the features that you need now versus later, or free versus pro. How many are you getting for free, and how much is it going to be to upgrade later, and what are the features that you'll get if you do decide to upgrade? Upgrade pricing, always something to consider. Support quality. So we can see if they provide a free plugin, we can go to that plugin website and look at their support forums and see if they're active, see if the issues are resolved. Obviously look at the reviews about the plugin itself and how often is it being updated. Is it being updated with new features and security enhancements, which I think is a very important aspect, because we will have certain information about students that we want to keep secure. Do they have a thriving community, and do they have good documentation so that you can help yourself using it, or ask questions? So we've listed here 6 popular plugins for WordPress, and these aren't in any particular order. These are just ones that I went out and found that they have really good ratings. They have a lot of users and a lot of installs, and I would encourage you to either check them out or just start by Googling, WordPress LMS plugin, and go on your own journey and take in the last few slides that we've just looked at, what to consider when selecting one. Because I don't want to steer you in any path. I'm not sponsored by any of these. I have chosen one for our demonstration, but that's not for any particular reason apart from I just saw it was feature rich and would allow me to make a good demonstration. So please do your own research in this area. So another aspect of an LMS plugin is also an LMS theme. and what to consider when trying to select an LMS theme would obviously be, the compatibility with your chosen LMS plugin, the performance and page speed, whether it has a course-focused design or not. Does it have mobile and accessibility support? Is it able to be customized without a lot of complexity being added to the situation? And yeah, is it going to be maintained in the long term and supported? And just to give you some context around this, when I searched in the WordPress themes directory for LMS, there were over 130 options, and these were all free. So there's a lot to consider here, and it can take some time to narrow it down to ones that you like. And then on top of that, some of the plugins on the previous screen, on the previous slide, they offer their own themes, and some are free and some are paid. So there's a lot to check out in this area. And also, if you're adding an LMS plugin to an existing website, you may not want to select an LMS theme because it will override the entire theme of your current website, right? But if you're starting from the start, then this might be a good way to go. And if you do already have an existing LMS website, an existing website and you're installing an LMS plugin, then you might want to look at whether or not there are design options just for the LMS part of the kind of website that it's going to create for you. And we'll look at that coming up pretty shortly. So lots to consider there, but yeah, we'll explore those in the demo. So let's get into the demo, and I will stop talking so much. So by the end of it, my aim is for you to be able to install and configure a Tutor LMS plugin or any plugin, any LMS plugin. We'll go on and we'll create courses, lessons, and a quiz. And you'll be able to navigate the admin and also the front end views. So let's move over to this test website that I've created. It's a website, it's quite bare, but it's a pretty default WordPress install. And I have chosen Tutor LMS plugin for this demo. So normally it wouldn't be installed, right? So to install it, we'll go plugins and then add new. And then we can type in the search here, LMS, hit enter, and we'll get options for many free LMS plugins. And mixed within them, you'll also see add-ons such as the one that I was talking about, the Elementor add-on for Tutor LMS. And it's quite vast. There's a lot here. There's that Fluent CRM integration. So there's a lot that you can extend for free. But the one I chose for today was the Tutor LMS plugin, and it's already active. But let's say it wasn't, we would just click install now. It would do its thing, install, and then we would see a button that we can click again to activate it. And then once we've activated it, we can see it in our installed plugins list. And we can see that Tutor LMS is installed here. And we can see a bit about it, view details if we'd like to view the plugin site itself, or look at ratings or support, change log, all that stuff is here. But I think we'll start by looking at the settings. So we can click on this link here or go Tutor LMS and then down to settings. And what I want to show you here is not every individual setting, but I just want to encourage you to check out the settings of any LMS plugin that you install, just so that you can actually see what options we have available to us. So we can change things like which page will be our dashboard. If you want to set up a terms and conditions page for your courses or a privacy policy, you can set one in the pages, create one in the pages area, come back here and set it. So these are just things to be aware of. There are things like marketplaces. We have pagination options. We have different options related to our instructor or instructors. We can allow people to become an instructor. So we can allow instructors to publish their own courses. So there are lots of things to be aware of depending on your needs and the way you want to run your website. Within courses, we have lots of options as well. We also have quite a few options for lessons and the quizzes. Yeah, there's quite a few interesting options here. Like, will you let students take the quiz more than once? And if so, will you mark them on their highest grade, average grade, the first attempt, last attempt? So there's a few controls here for you. Also video. I think video is pretty popular when it comes to courses, especially on a website like my one, which is aimed at teaching origami courses. So I think a video will be very helpful in that sense. So we have got quite a few options here when it comes to video. And the monetization. So Tutor LMS has its own e-commerce engine, but it also does integrate with WooCommerce if you get the paid version. But without the paid version, you can still take payments for your courses and set up all the important things like the currency. And we have a payment method. One of the limitations of the free version is that it only provides PayPal. But there's nothing stopping you from signing up to PayPal and using it perfectly like out of the box. Or you could look at the upgrade and integrate with another one or WooCommerce or whatever you might be using. But yeah, still within the free version, we can set up taxes if we want to. So here in New Zealand, we have a 15% GST rate, it's called. And we can do that in the free version and have a few settings here to change depending on our setup. So still pretty powerful. We can also set up coupons and offer them during the checkout process, or essentially bypass the cart and go straight to buying the course. Now, if you've only got one or two courses, this might be a good option to enable. And like I was saying earlier, like if you select an LMS theme, but actually it's going to take over the entire look of your site, of your existing site, then we may not want to do that, but we can still have some design choices or design options within your existing theme and within the LMS plugin. So we can control how many columns the courses will be in on the course page. Pagination, we can also enable filters. So if you've got a lot of courses, you might want to categorize them or allow users to search. Also, difficulty level might be good if you've got a number for beginner, intermediate, advanced, or if you are charging the price. So we've got some pretty handy filters built in here as well. We've got layout options for our instructors and for our student profiles. So I've set both to modern, and we can also set them to private if you'd like to have them set to private. So up to you. And on our course details page, we can enable or disable many options here. So most of them are enabled, and we'll have a look at this later. I've stuck with the default kind of blue color scheme, but we could change it to one of these predefined options or select our own colors if you'd like to do so. So there's a few design options within the LMS plugin without, installing a theme and overtaking your current theme completely. And the advanced settings are more around like permalinks and API key integrations. And yeah, this would be pretty cool to change if you didn't actually refer to your courses as courses. Maybe they were classes or programs or tutorials or whatever you want to refer to them as. You could update the permalink structure so that it's kind of neat and tidy, and it may have some SEO benefits there as well. So yeah, like you can erase the data if you want to uninstall the plugin. So lots of things to look at and consider, and I would just recommend that you just check through your settings on your chosen LMS plugin. And one thing that I think we should look at are the Tutor LMS calls them add-ons, and really it's their place to show you what's available if you do upgrade to the Pro version. And there's some really cool stuff here. Like this is where we can enable subscriptions if we want to do so. Social logins, I think, are really good to remove any barriers to somebody coming and signing up to your website. They can just use Facebook or Google, and it's all really quick. Notifications, that might also be good. Zoom integrations, that might be really good if that's the way you want to run your courses. Paid memberships pro, translations, really important. BuddyPress for like forum type software on your website. But if you look at the page here, you can see the price, and then you can also have a much better overview of what's free versus pro. And there's a really long list here. And I'm pretty sure that most of the big LMS plugins will have something similar, where you can compare and just decide whether or not you need these features, and then take the plunge or not with a subscription that works for you. And also, I would check if they do offer some sort of money back guarantee. It's always nice to know, I think, if you're unsure and you want to check it out, that you can get your money back within 30 days if you're not super happy with what you were given. So just a couple of things to be aware of there. But we will actually look at a course now on the front end of the site. So my website is very bare. It's brand new, but we do have a course over on the courses page. So that settings page, will allow us to make changes to the way that this course page looks. So we've only got one course, but we may have sort of 2, 3, and 4 courses in a grid pattern. But maybe we want 2 in a row, 3 in a row, all of that stuff. So we can configure that in the settings, and it will appear differently here. Same with our color scheme. Things are blue, but perhaps you'd like to customize that to your design. And we can click into a course to see more about it. So what we're actually seeing here is the view of an instructor, but also an enrolled student. So we can see our course progress, which is yet to start, but we can see a few things like Q&A and announcements. Whereas if we went to this website or this course page as somebody that wasn't logged in, you wouldn't see obviously like the progress here, and you wouldn't see announcements or Q&A. These are for enrolled students. So they would also see this list of lessons, but instead of an icon here, there'd be a padlock. So they wouldn't actually be able to go and view the course content or the lesson content unless they were enrolled. So yeah, I like to enable, I enabled reviews so that you can see what it will look like, and people can leave their own review, and it's mostly like any other review section, but I just thought it would be handy. We can also have our students give them the ability to ask questions, so and we can reply to them as the instructor. So I've just kind of written some uh, kind of test questions here and a test reply, so you can see it in action, and announcements. So if you'd like to, announce that, hey, we've got a new origami course coming in February to keep things alive, keep people interested in that way. So yeah, there's a few cool things here. And I've sort of split this course into two sections, getting started and a project area. So let's have a look. So if we click into what is origami, it's content, like word written content here, but it can have images and videos added if you'd like to add them. And the student can work through the lesson and mark it as complete once they've read through it and understood everything, and move on to the next and continue to do that as they work through. And I've included a quiz here. So we can have a look at how a quiz is structured. So what is a crease? Type of origami paper. And then, yeah, so we've written our questions and answers here, and we can submit and go to the next. There's a dash line mean, cut along the line. There's a valley fold. Fold that only works in valleys. Hey, who knows? So we'll submit, we'll get it, we'll get a grade, which I haven't done very well on my own quiz. So that's great. But yeah, you get the idea, right? So we can start it again if we are going to learn from our mistakes. Or we can move on to a project, and we'll just, yeah, we'll abandon the quiz for now. It's all good. So starting a project, it can be, yeah, a mix of written and visual content. So I've got a image here, which I think really adds a lot to an origami course. And I think it would be even better if I created a video, but for the purpose of the demonstration, I haven't done that. But yeah, I encourage you to do all that, make it as helpful as possible. Move on to the next. Yeah, so you can have as many lessons within a course as you like. So I just wanted to give you like an example of how they might look, and also taking into account again some of the design choices that we've selected. So we've gone with the blue, default blue color schemes, and that's reflected here in our links and our background colors, etc. So we can close out of the course, and now we can see, hey, we've actually done 29% of it. And if you'd done 100%, you might mark it as complete and move on to the next, or come back later and try another one. So what I want to show you as well is our dashboard. So as a student will see like I think this dashboard, but they won't see this instructor section. This is because I'm both a student and an instructor in this demonstration, but they'll be able to see how many courses are enrolled in, the progress on the courses, and yeah, it's sort of like their little area to keep track of everything. If you have, yeah, this wish list functionality enabled, they might add a course to the wish list and come back and purchase it at another time, or if they're free courses, just keep it on their radar and keep it within their wish list. And you can see their quiz attempts, which mine were pretty bad, but yeah, it'd be good for them to see their quiz attempts and check them out as well. So reviews, if they've left a review or you've received a review, you'll see them here. and update their profile, etc. Ask a question, see their order history if they've purchased something, all of the good stuff that you would want to see about your own profile on a website such as this, logging out, settings, etc. So I think we should actually look at actually setting up a new course and not just seeing one that is already set up for us. So what I'll do is navigate back to the dashboard and have a look at our courses here. So this is the one that we just looked at, but let's create a new one. So I thought we could make a origami course based on creating dinosaurs. So we could call this dinosaurs or origami dinosaurs course or whatever you want to call it, right? And add a description. So this course is dedicated to crafting cool dinosaurs. Alrighty, like it. And we have some options. So is the course difficulty for everyone, beginner, intermediate, expert? I think for the purpose of this, I'll just say it's intermediate. And we also have this option here to make the course public or keep it as it is, which means that they have to enroll. So up to you. And also, would you like to enable that Q&A section for your course? Again, completely up to you. Content drip is one of those paid features, but this is where you'd set it up if you had it enabled. And you can also cap the number of students that can enroll in your course if that's something you'd like to do. So those are our kind of basic options or our overview options. And then on the right side here, we've got, you can add tags if you'd like, categories, which I think will be really helpful if you've got a lot of courses. Here's where you actually set up the pricing too. So we could say that this course is going to be $10. And you know what? It's going to go on sale for $4.99 for the next whatever month. We could add an intro video if you had something prepared, or we could add a image. So I did prepare an image earlier that we can add, and that can just, yeah, make things a little bit more interesting. We can schedule it too. So if you have some free time, but you're not actually ready for the course to go live, we could schedule it to say go live maybe in a couple of days or at a certain time. So just cool to kind of have that option. And whether or not you want it to be public, password protected or private, but we'll set it as public. And the curriculum. So this is where we're actually going to set up our course lessons. So we could say like an introduction. Perhaps we could say, dinosaur origami is a great intermediate level course. So whatever you want to say. And then we could add a lesson. So perhaps we say, let's start off with the classic T-Rex. And I've just got some content over here that we can paste in to our course content box. But this would look different if you did enable Gutenberg, which was in the advanced settings. I glossed over it, sorry. But yeah, you would be able to use Gutenberg here, or you can, like if you integrated with the Elementor page builder, it would be here as well. So this is where we want to add the course content or the lesson content and save that. And we can just continue to do this. So Brontosaurus. I'm just trying to think of dinosaurs now. That's spelled incorrectly, but you get the idea. So we just keep adding our lesson content. And uploading videos or images. You could give some handy information about the time, um, or if you've got a PDF, for example, you could attach that here as well. So can just keep going to your heart's content, or if you think like this is quite a simple one, we're gonna create dinosaur origami, but within that, you know, like I could probably structure these a little bit differently. So instead of in the introduction, we could actually have the projects. So get let's get folding. So yeah, I could actually have put those lessons into here to structure it better. But if we can drag and drop, hey, we can. That's really cool. So yeah, I think it's structured a bit better. Introduction. Maybe this doesn't. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what we could put into an introduction for origami about dinosaurs, but I just want to show you, what's actually possible here. So we can, yeah, perhaps we do like a quiz. We could add that in here as well. So add quiz title, dinosaur quiz, add a summary if you want to, and then start adding our questions. So got a few different question options here and some pro ones too. The classic like true or false or multiple choice are very common. So we could say, are dinosaurs cool? And we could say, yes, that is true, or no, that is false. And we could set the answer here. Award points. I don't think we'd say that you get 1 point for saying that it's false. I think we'll say true, and maybe we'll get 5 points for that answer. Is it required? Do we want to display the points, etc.? And then when we move on to our next one, we click the button here and we add something else. So who knows, what is the tallest dinosaur? And give our options beneath, add an option, and yeah, we also have some different conditions here based on the multiple choice question. So yeah, maybe you could have multiple correct answers. Maybe this needs to be required. Randomize the choice, I think it's pretty cool. Number of points again, display the points or not. And this quiz setting, so maybe there's a time limit. Would you like to allow retries, 10 or 1 or 2? What's the passing grade? Yeah, max questions allowed to answer. So there's some pretty cool settings here as well. Oh, hang on, I haven't selected answer. Right, so we'll save that. So now we have like a pretty starting to get there. We've got 2 topics or 2 lessons, and we've got, lessons within those topics, and a quiz. So we could just keep adding to this, as much as you like. And we'll look at the additional settings. So some options here to give more context. What will I learn? We'll learn how to create origami dinosaurs. And do we have a target audience in mind? Maybe we do, but I think for this, it could be open to anyone. And what's our course duration? Maybe it's like 1 hour. Materials included. Probably for this one, we're not including any materials, but we could say that they need paper, scissors, whatever it might be. And yeah, our certificate. So if we had a course that was based in academia and we're actually wanting to give a certificate to recognize that a student's done the course, we could set that up here as well. So yeah, we're just working within the free options here, but it's good to know what is included in the Pro version as well. So we'll go ahead and publish this. It's going to be interesting because it's not fleshed out as well as my other course, but you can see it's listed here. Every course that you add will also be listed here. Got a good overview. I forgot to add a category, but that would show here. Got our price, who authored it. So this can be, so we can add, other users, other tutors to the course and say that the tutor didn't have time to create their course on the website. Well, you could create it for them and then set them to be the author. So that's just a cool feature. We can go back in and edit our course if we like, or yeah, we'll go and have a quick look because I'm aware that time is ticking. So let's view the course. So yeah, we've got our overview. We've got our topics and our lessons and our quiz listed, and we can also buy this one. So let's have a quick look at that. So it's added to the cart. We're going to view the cart. Yeah, okay, so it needs a bit of design love, but the bones are there. Proceed to checkout. So this is pretty impressive for its native engine. Like we're not integrating with WooCommerce or anything like that. So it's really cool, like basic system that just works. So yeah, really cool. And what I'll do is I want to show you the changes that happen when we change themes. So I'll keep this page open and I will navigate to my themes area. So a lot of these themes that are listed were free and some were actually provided by Tutor LMS for free. So that was this one here. So if we activate this theme, we can see, once I refresh, that things have changed a little bit. Like the font's changed. Yeah, like before we had the header and footer included in this page. Now it's different. Some of the icons are different. The font has changed. It's actually a little bit easier to look at, I would say. But if we navigate back and change to, this was a free theme in the WordPress themes repository, and this one changes things again. So we have our header back. Our site title is nice and large here, and it's gone with a sort of green and blue color scheme. Our topics, the drop down here is slightly different, and our course pages again are structured a little bit differently, different fonts, but yeah, pretty cool. Just depends on what you like. So we'll try press bar. So press bar. Okay, so it's more in the center here, center of the page, and it would need some configuration for this menu here. It's listed all the pages, so we would need to fix that up a little bit. I need to navigate back to courses. So yeah, our course page is a little bit different as well, and our individual course page. Okay, so our button text is blue on blue, so it's not perfect, but yeah, it's just an option, and it's very easy to switch back to our default theme if we don't like it, or delete it entirely. So go back to what we had. It's nice and familiar, and perhaps I have decided that I'll just stick with this one, yeah. But I will move back into our presentation and try and leave some time here for for questions if there are any. So please feel free to write your questions in the chat or come off mute. I'll do my best to answer them. And Don's asked here, has the plugin created new user roles for students and instructors? Yeah, so it did create a new user role for instructors. So if I go back here, you'll see that I am an administrator and a tutor instructor. Now, I don't believe there's a student role, but I believe there'll be a subscriber. Yeah, that would be something to check out. But I believe that a student will be a subscriber, and yeah, this has a special role for a tutor or instructor. So that's a really good question. How to find the slides or video later? Yep. So I will send you a link in the chat here, and I'll also post the slides on the Meetup website as well. So yeah, there's a lot of linked slides you can see, like especially with the options for plugins to check out. I've linked each one, so you can go and have a look there. And yeah, please feel free to reach out on Slack or look me up on LinkedIn. I'm always happy to connect and yeah, help however I can. So yeah, I think yeah, please feel free to connect with me there, or if you got any more questions, fire them in the chat here. I also just want to let you know that there's plenty of educational resources on learn.wordpress.org, and I encourage you to keep the learning going over there if you want to learn more. And Don's saying the guys who created LearnPress wrote a book on building WordPress apps that I really like. Cool. Yeah, that sounds great. If you want to share the link to the book in the chat here or on the Meetup website, it'd be cool to check that out as well. And our co-host, Narazaman, I think you have contacts who like work on Tutor LMS. So he could be a really good resource and really good person to ask questions as well. He's also a plugin developer himself. So yeah, please don't be shy, and please reach out with any questions that you might have, even if it comes to you tomorrow or next week. Any time's good. So with that, I will, yeah, just say a big thanks to everyone for joining. I hope that was informative, and big thank you to our co-host, Narazaman. It really helps a lot for me to be able to focus on the course. So yeah, thank you so much, and hope to see you next time. So yeah, please take it easy, and we'll see you around, and don't be sure to reach out and get in touch. Awesome. Okay. Thanks everyone.